Hey, good evening, everybody. It's Friday, September 25th. Doing a little bit of something different this evening. Usually I teach in the morning. I say we, I guess I'm talking about Max and Stanley. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to have a Friday night evening class and just a nice slow flow, have my tea. If you guys want to find a place on your mat, we're going to start with a little reading. We're still following the yamas and niyamas. We're on the third niyama, which is tapas, self-discipline. So just find a comfortable seated position and try to sit up nice and tall so the spine is completely engaged. Find that perfect place for you. Good. And we'll rest the arms over the knees. We might just come into our breath, taking a few deep breaths in, feeling that breath move all the way down to the pelvic floor. And as we exhale, we lift the pelvic floor and release the breath. So just coming into a relaxed Ujjayi breathing, breathing in, opening the belly, exhaling, lifting the pelvic floor. So we have that flow. We move the body out to the sides as we inhale, exhale, pulling in, inhale, front to back. So we're opening, creating that space all the way around. And then we'll just rest the hands. We might bring the index fingers to the thumb for a little yin mudra. Very nice. So tapas. Tapas literally means heat and can be translated as catharsis, austerities, self-discipline, spiritual effort, change, tolerance, or transformation. Tapas has the sense of cooking ourselves in the fire of discipline to transform ourselves into something else. It is our determined effort to become someone of character and strength. Much like cooking an egg denatures the egg, changing it into a different structure, tapas eventually changes our nature, turning us into a cauldron that can withstand any of life's changes. Tapas is the day-to-day choice to burn non-supportive habits of the body and mind, choosing to forsake momentary pleasures for future rewards. Coming to our mat every day, going out for walks, making sure that we're eating good, drinking lots of water, we're in those happy, healthy relationships, just really increasing our vibration, reaching it up to source, meeting the source coming down. When we have tested the wind, we can light the match, willingly burning away our laziness and our selfish desires. Whether we practice tapas by showing up at our mat for a regular posture practice or through constant acts of selfless service, we offer ourselves to the next higher version of us. We willingly stand the heat so that we might produce luscious bounty with our lives. This guideline not only speaks to our personal effort, but also to those cathartic times of almost hopeless desperation when we find ourselves in the pain of unexpected loss or debilitating sickness, or in the throes of a life that seems like it has been turned upside down. It is almost as if God has checked the winds and started the fire, and we ourselves are the field that is being burned. And yet it is these times that shape and mold us into someone of depth. Our debris gets burned away, and we are left more humbled and strengthened by the mystery of what is beyond our grasp of control or of understanding. It is these darkest times of pain, loss, and confusion that we weave something profound in us. In yoga, having a daily discipline practice is referred to as sadhana, and is much like doing a small controlled burn on ourselves. It is the discipline of putting ourselves in places where the old debris that has collected in us can be removed. We engage in this process when we pay attention to the amount and kind of food we put in our body. When we move and exercise our bodies through walks, yoga, or other activities. When we expand our mental ability or study scripture with like-minded people. This process begins to remove unwanted pounds, lazy habits, an unexercised heart and body, a stale mind, and an unheard spirit. As Pantali Joyce reminds us, practice and all is coming. And before we start, I just want to finish with this prayer from St. Francis of Assisi. Is a well-known prayer that he speaks eloquently to the possibilities of transformation for each human being. And it reads, Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. This is a profound plea to change us from haters to lovers and from disturbers of peace to makers of peace. This is the prayer of tapas, and it invites us to be in life in a different way. So just, at any time we can change, we can become more. We're constantly evolving. We're creating our own change. And we do that through tapas, through discipline, through a continued application of whatever it is, maybe stepping into the fire. We keep stepping in and we keep stepping in until we get burned and changed and we come out. That piece of coal maybe turns into a diamond. Sometimes it takes a long time. Sometimes the path we've been on for a long time and maybe not recognized it. So just think about that. Maybe set that as an intention. Maybe what we've been avoiding, what we need to step into. When I was having my contemplation this morning, it was, I came up with, I just haven't wanted to think and I haven't wanted to engage. So that was like perfect for today. I need to step into the fire in many ways. And hopefully you guys will resonate with that, something in your life. I have an understanding of what it is in mine. So hopefully as we move through our practice tonight, we just get the wheels turning that way. So what do I need to step into? What's the first step I need to take? For now, let's go ahead and step back onto our mats. We're going to do a slow flow tonight and some holding poses. And when I mean a slow flow, we might just be flowing our breath as we hold the poses. Thanks for being here, you guys. A few harps going on here. And you might have a couple bolsters ready, pillow, blocks. I'm going to grab my tea. Today's day one of the fasting for me. If you're doing the conscious eating or the cleansing program, hopefully you took your intake down to half if you're doing conscious eating. No food today if you're doing the cleanse. All fluids. So let's just start in a soft seated position. We're just going to rock forward and come back to center. Hands are just lightly on the knees. We're not really using the knees. We're rocking forward, letting the belly come forward and lifting the seat bones. So we exhale and come forward. Inhale back to center. So we're just kind of releasing those seat bones. Opening up the knees. If you're challenged through the knees, Just in a soft seated position for you. So we're working through the core here a little bit. Just a nice gentle rocking, lifting the seat bones if that feels good to you. Honoring our bodies, inhaling and exhaling. Coming up to the center. And if we're in a cross-legged position, let's switch our foot position. One in, one out. Again, walk the seat bones back, coming up to center, resting the hands, exhaling, little hinge. And we'll feel those seat bones move up in the back. We notice that space around the greater trochanter and the hip. Baby bows coming up. So we're going to go ahead and move down around in circles, checking in with the chakras. Noticing the low back. Breathing. Coming back up to center, other direction. Be aware of how much heat and energy is in our body, how our digestion is. Are we eliminating properly? Something goes in, something should be coming out. And we'll hold at the top. Nice. Let's take a deep breath up, zipping up through the spine, bringing the hands together at the top and down to the heart. Good. Rolling the shoulders back, leading with the belly, pressing the seat bones down and in, bringing the chin towards the throat and lengthening up through the crown of the head. Let's take some deep breaths here. So the back is fully engaged. We can feel the back. Pull the elbows back to the sides, pressing the hands together. Nice deep breaths. Zipping up through the spine. And circle sweeping up. Exhaling, reaching out. Now we'll move through a few lateral flexions, softening the elbows. So we're just reaching that arm right up, lengthening out through the rib cage. Inhaling up, exhaling over. Again, we don't have to have our feet in this position. Finding that perfect place for you for a few lateral flexions. Reaching out through the fingertips. Lifting, opening the rib cage. Building heat and energy in the body. Tapas. And we'll hold here. Rolling the upper shoulder back, reaching out of the fingertip, lifting the rib cage. Arm and back is soft. We might even come down to the forearm underneath the shoulder. Again, we want to roll the shoulder back and reach. So a little bit deeper stretch. Here comes Stanley, all the way up and switch sides. Stanley. over. Bring the forearm down if that's an option for you. So again, we want this knee to be pressing down. We'll roll the shoulder back, lifting up and out of that bottom forearm. Lifting the rib cage. Lengthening out through the fingertips and gently coming up. Circle sweeping up. Drawing the hands to the heart. Rolling the shoulders back, zipping up through the spine, drawing the chin to the throat, pressing the back of the head back towards the wall. Nice deep breaths. Breathing into the belly, lifting the pelvic floor away from the floor as we exhale. And gently releasing. And we'll come to a seated position. Feet flat on the mat. Hands just below the knees, zip up. Exhale back, scooping the abs in and up. Lifting the elbows, the armpits to the sky, and we'll just flow. Inhaling, opening the belly. Exhaling all the way back. And we'll hold at the back. What are you doing? Stay out of my teeth. Stanley. Kitty. Scooping the abs in and up, tiny waist. Lift the elbows, lift the armpits. And gently bring it all the way up. And we'll extend those feet out in front. Pressing out through the toe buds. We're going to bring the toe buds together so we have a little bit of internal rotation up at the thighs. And we can reach the hands under and pull that space out. We might reach under and release the seat bones. Bring the hands down just below the knees, lifting the elbows, the armpits. And roll the shoulders back, bringing the heart center through, softening the elbows. Lengthening the crown of the head forwards. We have to draw the chin towards the throat. Reaching out to the feet. Those toes are pointed up towards the ceiling. We're going to lift the elbows, lift the armpits, and bring the belly down onto the thighs. Softening the elbows once again, hinging at the hip. Lengthening the crown of the head towards the toes, and hold. If it's an option for you, we can reach around the feet. Walk those seat bones back a little bit more. Softening into this soft seated fold. Again, we're pressing those toe buds together. Internal rotation at the hip. Lengthening the crown of the head towards the toes. Nice deep breaths. Think about pressing those hamstrings or the backs of the legs down and into the mat. Internally rotating at the hips slightly. We'll gently come up. And we'll sweep those hands back behind. We're still lifting the toes, pressing the hamstrings down and in. I'm going to release my seat bones a little bit more. So we sweep the hands back, fingers face the glutes, rolling the shoulders back, pressing out of the wrist, and lifting the heart to the sky. Nice deep breaths. Shifting the weight to the fingertips, pressing the thigh bones down and in. Toe buds are touching. We have a little bit of internal rotation. Deep breaths. Lifting the elbows, lifting the armpits, and gently release. We'll press those heels in, bend the knees, and shift the hips down, melting it down one vertebrae at a time. Nice and easy, walking those feet in, floating the arms out to the side, palms down, and we're going to take the knees side to side. It's a nice massaging motion across the hips, feels great on a Friday night. Coming back to the center, extending that right foot to the sky. We're going to cross it over. So just the ankle is on the outside of the left knee. The right knee is open. We'll bring that left leg up. If it's an option for you, we can reach down and through and gently come down. Little modified pigeon, figure 4. Looking at the ceiling, noticing that hip opening, always a nice stretch. If you want a little bit more out of this stretch, we can bring the blade of the foot right into the elbow. Pressing the blade of the foot slightly towards the bicep. Think about pressing the seat bones down towards the floor. We might rotate the ankle of the leg that's elevated. Softening the facial muscles, deep breaths. Other direction with the ankle. Taking a few more deep breaths. And gently release. All the way down, taking the knees to the side, hands float out, side to side. Coming back to the center, extending that left foot to the sky, crossing it over, bring it in, reach down between the inner and outer thigh. We can bring it in. We can take that blade of the left foot into the crease of the right elbow. Give it a little press in, taking the seat bones down and breathing. Again, we might rotate that ankle. Opening the toes. And my ankle's like a snapping turtle. Other direction. And hold. Press those seat bones down. A few more deep breaths. And gently release. Both feet to the floor, and we'll draw both knees into the chest, rolling up into that tiny ball, giving the back some love. Think about the chin moving up towards the ceiling. And gently bring the knees over the hips, keeping the feet elevated, floating the arms out, and we'll take the knees side to side. Keep looking at the ceiling, only going over as far as you feel comfortable. Might be a short little rock. We might have our feet down, and that's fine too. We're going to hold over on one side and extend the top leg, reaching out to the big toes. We reach out and then lengthen the hip towards the end of the mat. Shoulder blades down, thoracic twist. Nice deep breaths. We might look in the opposite direction. Breathing into the belly. Gently releasing, coming back to the center. And to the other side. Then we'll move into that leg extension. Here comes Stanley. Looking in the opposite direction. Hey, kitty. What are you doing, buddy? Stanley had a little outing. He went to see his neighbor children. Stanley is a community cat. So he lives with me, but he's the neighbor's cat. We know. And gently release, coming back to the center. And we'll bring the feet to the floor. Bring the palms down by the side. Let's roll the shoulders back. We come up onto the forearms, tuck the scapula in, and gently lift for bridge. So we're resting on the shoulder blades. Noticing the fronts of the legs, the hips. Nice deep breaths. Thinking about hugging the upper inner thighs. And gently coming down, drawing both knees into the chest, rolling up into that tiny ball, giving the back some love. Bring the hands to the knees and press the heels forward and the seat bones down. So we're just going to hold this. And gently bring the feet down. Taking it over to the side. So let's go ahead and grab a block or the book, whatever we have that's pretty solid. We're going to work on pulling the head back a little bit, especially if we're at a desk all day and we're here, or even more so if we're texting a lot and we have our head forward. If you're reading in bed and your head is forward, definitely you want to try this a little bit every day. So we're going to take the block, bring it behind the head, pull the elbows in, and gently draw the chin to the throat and press the head back into the block. And we'll just be here for a few deep breaths. Think about lifting the sternum, letting the belly lead forward, softening into the low back. Lifting the elbows to the sky, drawing that head back a little bit more, chin to the throat. And gently release. And we'll gently take the head side to side, ear to shoulder. Melting away the stress of the week. Stepping into a new day tomorrow, full of light, love, and energy. And back to the center. So let's go ahead, we're going to start working a little bit more on opening up the legs a little bit more. We got into the hamstrings, and now we're going to get into the quadriceps a little bit more. So we'll start in a seated position. We're going to tuck the toes under and sit back. So we're going to start with the lower leg or the feet and just sitting up nice and tall. For a lot of people, this is very difficult. So just gauge by your body. You might have a bolster behind so we don't have as much weight back there on the feet. Nice deep breaths here. And we'll gently release. Bringing it forward, tucking the toes under. Bringing the fists for wrist down, and we're just going to press it back a little bit, stretching the front of the ankles. So if we hollow up the belly, I'm going to walk my hands back just a little bit more. Nice deep breaths. Hugging the upper inner thighs. Lifting the elbows, lifting the armpits. And gently releasing. Ah! Stanley! Are you helping, Mom? That was funny, huh? Let's go ahead and bring the right foot forward. I'm getting some kitty help tonight. Let's grab our block or just have our foot forward. I'm going to actually take the block down and put my foot on the block. So that leg is up a little bit higher. So when I pull the hip forward, bring the rib cage back, reaching straight up. Lifting, opening the heart to the sky. I get a little bit deeper stretch. Nice deep breaths. And gently coming down. And bring the hand down. So that's the inside hand. So that knee is going to stay forward. Line it up, roll the shoulder back, lead with the belly, reaching up. Moving the whole upper body back. Good, and let's gently come down and we'll switch sides. So we're going to bring the hand down, roll the upper shoulder back, so the belly button's going to come right into the inner thigh, lengthening through the body and reaching up. Gently coming down. And we'll take it back to child's pose. Hollow up the belly, seat the hips back, soften the elbows, relax the third eye down onto the mat. So we'll gently shift the weight forward, hands underneath, lifting the elbows, the armpits, flowing cat and cow, lifting from the thoracic spine, hollowing up the belly, inhaling cow. And just a nice gentle flow. We might notice how that right hip fills compared to the left. Coming back to a neutral spine. And we'll bring the block in, and we're going to put the left foot up there on it this time, if that's an option for you. So again, the knee starts above the ankle, top of the foot is down and back. Good. And we're going to bring that back hip forward, roll the shoulders back, bring the rib cage back, reaching straight up. Deep breaths. Keep bringing that right hip forward. Think about the femur bone moving forward on that back leg. And we'll gently come down, and we're going to move into that little twist. So we bring that arm forward. We feel the hip externally rotate on the right, rolling the shoulder back and reaching up. Moving the whole upper body back. Gently coming down, switching hands. So here's the internal rotation of the back hip. Start here with the hand, roll the shoulder back, bring the belly forward and right into that inner thigh, reaching up to the sky. And feel that all the way up around the hip, pulling the knee in towards the heart. And gently coming down. And all the way back to child's pose. Hollowing up the belly, seating the hips. Those deep, expanding breaths. Then we'll come up to that quadruped, flowing cat and cow, thoracic lift. Following up the belly, inhaling cow. Lengthening out through the breath. Coming back to a neutral spine. And then we'll come to a seated position, hero's pose. Hopefully Stanley hasn't been drinking my tea. Good. Let's go ahead. Let's come to a seated position. We're going to work a little bit deeper. We're going to keep one leg back, one leg forward. So like the old runner's stretch. So this might be an option. Let's try to pull that knee in. Release the seat bones. Okay. And we'll begin to hinge it forward. Again, releasing the seat bones. We might put a hand down and lift, release, and hinge forward to where we can reach out and touch that foot as far down as you feel comfortable. Again, if you're healing your knees, soft seated fold is fine. Think about internally rotating the foot, pressing out through the toe bud. Deep breaths, taking that femur bone down and into the mat. And gently coming up. And we'll switch sides. A little runner's stretch. Pulling the knee in, we release the seat bones, give it a little lift, give it a hinge. And come forward again, pressing forward out of the toe bud, internally rotating, creating space around the hip. And gently coming up. So we can go back to either side of that, or we can come to hero's pose. Listening, honoring our bodies. We're going to start with our knees slightly open. Open the feet. I have to get where I'm going here. And we're going to bring the seat right down between the feet. I'm going to lower this camera just a tidge. So the feet are open, the knees are a little bit wide, and we're going to have a seat, if this is an option for you. We can roll the shoulders back, bring the elbows back. So just a nice opening for that quadricep over the knees, listening to our bodies. I'm going to take my feet in a little bit closer to my hips, so I'm hugging my hips with my feet. And you're doing the same thing. If it's an option for you, we can begin to take it back. We'll have the fingertips pointed towards the booty. Lift and open the heart. Deep breaths. Think about pressing the shin bones down and into the mat. As we press the shin bones down, we can walk it down to the forearms. Pressing the shin bones down, we can take it all the way back if that's an option for you. We can pull the elbows in, triceps are down. Pull the elbows up towards the shoulders and gently push yourself up and out. Lift, draw the knees together, and sitting back in child's pose. Winding it down, gently come up. And then we'll come and have a soft seated position once again. Finding that perfect place for your knees. Sitting up nice and tall. Drawing the chin towards the throat. So we're aware of the energy that we brought forth throughout the week. Let's take a few moments here in this nice uplifting pose to set our intention. To create a space for self-discipline for tapas. We might just take a few moments and visualize what that looks like, where we need to step in our life, where we need to engage, what we need to think more about, maybe less about. Setting our intentions. We might just think about what actions we need to take. What are our first steps? We might just visualize those in our mind's eye. What do you see yourself doing? Bringing your intentions to fruition. Good. And let's go ahead and meet down on our mat for a little Shavasana. Final relaxation. We might turn the lights down here. I'm going to do that. And we'll just come and find a comfortable place on our mat. all the way down. Open the feet up, let the pinky toes drop open, turning the palms up just off the waist. Eyes are pointed towards the sky. And we'll just soften into this space. Relaxing the forearms, relaxing the quadriceps, the hips. Noticing the parts of the body that do not touch the mat. Under the wrists, the neck, under the back, tops of the thighs, the knees, and the ankles. Noticing the fingers relaxed in the air. Softening our facial muscles, relaxing our jaws, releasing the tension in the space between the eyes. Letting the ears drop back. Feeling grounded by the earth. Might visualize our hearts opening. Maybe all of our chakras receiving light from Source, from God. Pouring into our bodies. Pouring in through the subtle body, the space that surrounds us. Visualizing being filled with light, love, and energy. Releasing fear, anxiety, hopelessness. Go ahead and move into a full body stretch as we prepare to rise anew, ready for a great night's sleep. And we'll draw both knees into the chest, give that back a little love, and gently rock up. To a soft seated position. Releasing the seat bones. Drawing the hands to the heart. Thankful for these strong bodies, clear minds, balanced emotion, present awareness, and being in happy, healthy, loving relationships. Don't be afraid to light that match and start your fire. Get some heat going on. Thank you for sharing this time together this evening or whenever you're watching this video. Have a great night, you guys. We'll be back here on Monday morning. Namaste. Peace. Should say ciao.